It's 11 where I'm at. I'm getting ready to set up to do a little work at my makeshift standing desk here. Um, and I'm gonna make some coffee. And so I thought, hey, let's go live and we can hang out. We can chat. So something different than the workout. So I gotta get my laptop real quick. I forgot it, so I'll be right back. My day has been a little slower to start than normal because um, the kids got out of the house kind of late today. We had some cold weather here, some icy roads, and so they did a late start, which, you know, that's good, right? You want 'em safety first, but uh, and also I'm just kind of making an excuse, but I was just kind of slow to get started because they were here, but they're gone now, and we get focused up for the day, make some coffee, and lock in. We just released, or not released, but we just deployed a big new feature at work. Um, and so it's kind of all hands on deck to focus on getting that getting that tested. But I felt like doing some work standing up today. I feel like that's one of the things people get wrong sometimes with work from home life is, when you work from home, you can work from anywhere. You can like literally anywhere. But then at your house, you don't have to just stay at some stationary desk in the corner, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having an office and a desk and all that, but you can also just like move around your house and work wherever you want. So, and obviously I'm working, so I can't obviously show you what it is I'm working on. otherwise otherwise I totally would do that. um I'll stream later today on Twitch over my lunch break. And when I stream on Twitch, I show people's what I'm working on. Let's see. I've actually had like some really good live streams on YouTube. People, when I've been working out, when I work out, I've been trying to go live, and I've had some people come into my stream and be super nice and chat and talk and ask questions about working out and advice and stuff, which is fun because before all this coding and programming content and tech and everything, I was real deep in the fitness world, and so it's been fun to have people show up and ask questions and just talk shop. So it's interesting. Like, people tell you, like, on YouTube, like they give you advice that, like, if you have a YouTube channel, you should try to almost like categorize yourself. You should kind of have like one piece of content that you focus on, which I think is, I mean, I get it. I understand why that advice is there. But I also want to attract an audience that's like me, I guess. I want to attract people that have a similar interests, similar values, similar. So I feel like sharing not only the coding and the programming and that stuff, but also sharing aspects of my life that aren't just that, um, is good. So hopefully I'll get like kind of a mixture of people show up as subscribers and returning viewers. All right, I got my spec open here, and this is a big feature, so it's going to take a little while to test it. Um, but I'm organized and I have all my stuff here. Get logged into, oops, get logged into my, what is going on? You ever have those mornings where it seems like you can't figure out how to enter your username and password? Oh, weird. That's weird. Uh, hey, James from Australia. That's awesome, man. Nice to meet you. What time is it in Australia? I guess you guys are. For me, I'm just kind of getting my day started. Well, it's 11 here, but I'm guessing you guys are like evening time, right? You guys are probably like 12 hours ahead or something like that. I love your last name too, Vosser. That's I like the spelling. Very cool. There was someone in my stream yesterday when I was working out. There was someone in my stream from France. 3:50 a.m. Holy moly! What are you doing up? You should be asleep. Are you getting your day started, or is your day coming to an end? Are you working out? Like you just like are you an early riser? God, I haven't think I've gotten up before 4 a.m. in a long time. Work. Okay. What do you do? What kind of work do you do? If you don't mind sharing. I mean, that's early. Early. Night shift security. Oh, oh, okay. So you're overnight. So your shift probably is getting ready to end here in a few hours, right? Um, I had a friend. I actually had a client when I was in college. A personal training client of mine when I was in college did security overnights. Started at 7 p.m. Whew, yeah, man. I did overnights in college when I worked as a medical scribe. I did one overnight a week. It was every Tuesday from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I mean, if you do nights all the time, kudos kudos to you because um, that is tough. You know, shift work like that is very very tough. I'm guessing have you been doing it a long time or is this a relatively new thing for you? Because yeah, it's difficult. You know what I mean? 2 day shifts, 4 nights, 10 years, dude. That's yeah, kudos on that. That's pretty wild. I'm just gonna make some coffee here. Uh, now that I got my stuff all organized at the workstation, at the makeshift stand up desk. Yeah, I'm guessing you probably are a partaker in caffeine then, huh? 10 years on night shift. I'm guessing caffeine is a drug of choice to make it through. I mean, I guess at 10 years, 10 years, you probably have kind of your tricks of the trade, right? Things that you do and energy drinks. Yeah. My favorite energy drink right now is Ghost. I don't know if you've heard of those Ghost energy drinks. They started out as kind of like a sport, kind of like a supplement brand. They make protein and all that kind of stuff, but they also have a line of energy drinks that are really good. Oh, where's my cup? But yeah, that's my energy drink of choice at the moment. Oh god, what's happening over here? Oh goodness. Sorry about that. Haven't tried it. I have my phone on the stabilizer here and the stabilizer crashed. I promise I'm okay. Everyone's okay. No one was harmed in the making of this live stream. Uh yeah, man, I feel for you. I mean, obviously if you've been doing nights for 10 years though, it works for you. I remember the tough thing for me personally was just I was in college, so um I was working nights, but then I was trying to live in the day kind of situation. So like it would be like I would be all up all day Tuesday, then up all night Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and then all up all day Wednesday, which uh yeah, doesn't really work. I am curious, James, what's your username about the Sparky channel fan channel? Uh the singing Sparky fan channel? Is it just like a random username or were you doing something with your YouTube channel at one point and then you stopped or something? Oh, my name is Scott. Oh, sorry, James. Or sorry, Scott. I was calling you James because I was just going based on your username. Walnuts, walnuts and bestiality. Okay, awesome. Thanks for being here. But yeah, a little oversharing there right into the chat, huh? That's a wild story if that's true, walnuts. It's a wild story. Oh, you have a son. Oh, very cool. Yeah, my kids, I've got 2 kids. I've got 2 boys. And they actually one of them put on his they had to do like an about me. His birthday was recently and so he had to do kind of this about me poster. And one of the thing he put on there was when he grows up he wants to be a YouTuber. So they're they're kind of all ate up with YouTube and I mean we police it pretty heavily like we only allow them to watch channels of creators that we've personally seen or watched, and have kind of vetted the content. Um, but yeah, I mean, I know some people laugh at that. Like, I think maybe I don't know how old you are, Scott, but people in other generations probably kind of laugh at this idea that kids want to be YouTubers and that's not a real job and everything. But the my based on my age and the generation I grew up in, that's what my parents told me. And I look around though, and I see all these guys. Oh, you're 56. Okay, so you're of my parents' generation, and so I see all these people that have made careers out of being creators. And I think back to those years, and I think, man, if you know, in I was in a TV productions class in high school, and I think back, man, if I had had any idea, you know, to like actually apply those skills in 2010, 2011. If I had been able to apply, you know, we did a sports broadcast show as part of our TV productions class, and I think back, like we had so many funny characters and just you know, uh, good people that we could have made a lot of fun content around that. Started a channel, and yeah, I don't know, it wasn't it wasn't. I don't know why it just wasn't in the realm of something you should be spending your time doing. Um, and now I do it because I like it. I just kind of enjoy creating content and making stuff. Walnuts. Nope, not a cop here, man, or military. No, no cop or military here. Uh, I but yeah, crazy story about the weed, man. That's pretty wild. If we only knew. Hey, yeah, you're right, Scott. If we only knew. Hindsight's always 2020. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? My caffeinated beverage of choice lately is espresso. I feel like I mean I make coffee every so often, but I guess I've escalated to more it's I guess it's like people escalating from beer to hard liquor. I'm not a drinker. I don't drink alcohol, but uh I guess for the caffeine addicts, escalating from coffee to espresso, kind of a similar thing. Looks like we broke something with this. If you, I don't think I've said this to people, but we should have got Trump coin. Yeah, yeah. That whole story is a wild story. I mean, just unbelievable, unbelievable. I mean, just honestly, like, I mean, politics aside, because I know that's like a very controversial topic, but uh, Walnut, good one. It's a good movie. Haroon Bahat, Biggie or Tupac? Oh God, it broke again. So sorry. I don't think I've got this. I don't think I have this thing balanced. I guess I need to get a tripod or something up here because this thing keeps dying on me. Biggie or Tupac? As far as that question goes, I guess Biggie maybe. I that whole thing was before my time, um, and I'm not really a listener of either. If that's okay to be a thing. Um, but but about the Trump coin thing. So that's what I was thinking about. The Trump coin thing is pretty wild. Just the the conflict of interest, I guess, right? If we were to remove that out of any kind of political thing and just take that to like a business or even your personal life, this the conflict of interest in a situation like that is rather wild. I'm guessing in like 50 years there will be history books and papers written, and this whole situation in the U.S. right now will probably be studied as some sort of small constitutional. I'm sure it'll come up in legal doctrine a lot cases and stuff. Uh, Haroon, Northrop Gunman or Lockheed Martin? Oh, uh, I don't think I've ever heard of Northrop Grumman, so I guess Lockheed Martin. Um, there's actually some people where I'm from that worked for Lockheed Martin. I think there was a plant or something there. Yeah. I'm sorry if the phone keeps sliding sideways. I'm not sure. I guess I don't have it balanced or something. In any event, what am I doing? If you're just jumping in here, I'm basically just drinking coffee. I'm working and chatting with you guys. So if you have thoughts, questions, what am I working on? Maybe one of the thoughts you have. I'm working on a my day job is as a quality engineer for a software company. And so I do manual and automated testing, and we have a new feature. And so I'm just basically going through the spec and making sure that the things, all the bells and whistles and buttons and things do what they're supposed to do. That's kind of always the first pass that we do of testing. And then we go into more of a kind of an exploratory, how can I break this type of thing. You do coding Java or Python? I do code. Haroon, if you see any of if you've seen any of my videos that I posted lately on this channel, most of them have been around programming and coding. I've never written a line of Java before, um, which is funny because I love coffee. Like I love coffee so much, and I've always thought, how is it that I've never written any any Java before? Uh, but I have written Python. I'm not a big fan of it. I know how to write it. I don't particularly go out of my way to choose it though for projects and whatnot. Uh, let's see, walnuts. I always wondered what the tests actually do. Do you have to be a coder too to be a tester? No, you do not. So there's kind of a spectrum of testing. So you can You have people that are just manual testers who purely just go into, the software and click around, and depending on the complexity of the software, it might be a simple script or it could be much more complex. The piece of software that my company produces is kind of like a no code platform. So if you're familiar with like something like WordPress or Squarespace or any tool like that that allows you to essentially build things, but without knowing how to code, that's what we make a tool similar to that. So our manual testing is a little bit more complex. Uh, but then there are also testers that are purely just automation specialists that all they do is take scripts that manual testers would normally run and they translate them into automated stuff. And I do a little bit of both. Walnuts. Is JavaScript a good language to learn? Is it flexible enough for backends too? Yeah, I think JavaScript's a wonderful language to learn. I mean, it's so pervasive. I mean, it definitely has its quirks and people make fun of it. You see memes and stuff, um, which is, it is what it is. People are going to meme anything. But in terms of like a worthwhile language to learn, yeah, I mean for sure, because its utility is super high. It runs in every browser. It runs on the server. You can do all kinds of things with it. You can do machine learning with it. You can do web app development. You can do desktop development with things like Electron. Um, yeah, I personally think if I was to tell somebody to learn a language, I think JavaScript is probably where you'd want to start because it's super friendly, it's super forgiving, it works for all the different use cases. You can use it all over the place. You can build large apps, you can build small things, you can use it to do scripting. So yeah, definitely worth learning. Well, first thing I went to test, I was just trying to get actually signed in, and it looks like something we something we this is why you test, this is why you have staging environments, and it's why you don't test first in production, you know? You don't test first in production. I wish we had some music, huh? I wish I could play music over the stream. I'd love to get into Three.js, HTML Canvas, WebView, I think it's called, for 3D animations in the browser. Yeah, Three.js is where it's at, as I understand it, for 3D animations if you're into the JavaScript world. I've not used 3D.js myself. The I've used the HTML Canvas. I don't think I've used WebView. HTML Canvas is pretty cool. I used HTML Canvas to build a really small image generator thing for. There's a thing you can do in our software. You can basically create um, fields that have list values, but you can represent those list values with images because they just stand out a little bit better on the page. And so I made a really small. It's Oh god, well that's gonna get old. I'm gonna go get a tripod so this will stop happening. But I made a really small kind of image generator tool using HTML Canvas, just 2D. Just drawing a background color and drawing some text over the top of it. But yes, people do some wild stuff. There's actually a really cool developer. Um, if you search like cool developer portfolios, uh, here, let me try to search it here. I wish I could like also show you my screen at the same time, but uh, yeah, there's an article on Hostinger called 25 web developer portfolio examples to take inspiration from, and I think it's the very top one. No, it's not that one. It's the third one on the list. It's by a guy named Bruno Simon, and you can here. Let me see if I can show you without causing any issues. But yeah, he built this with 3D JS. Or I believe it's 3D JS, but you can drive the car around his website basically to peruse his portfolio. So I'm using my arrow keys on my keyboard. It's pretty cool. It's made the rounds on let me turn this back around. It's made the rounds on like Hacker News and Reddit and stuff. I'm guessing he gets a lot of views just purely for the how cool it is. Which I guess is kind of an argument, right? Do you make your portfolio cool for other people, or do you make your portfolio so that people will come who want to actually hire you? Uh, yeah. See you, Scott. Appreciate you stopping in, man. What state am I? I'm in Kansas, Scott. I know you left, but I'm in Kansas. Haroon, how about deep learning AI? I haven't done I've done a little bit with generative AI from the standpoint of using generative AI in applications that I built for features and stuff. Like I'm actually working on one right now that's a really small, simple tool for myself to generate alt text for like social posts. But I've not actually like built models or trained models. I actually just ordered a book yesterday called Building Build a Large Language Model from Scratch. Because heard Lex Friedman. If you're familiar with Lex Friedman and his podcast, he recommended it, and so I bought it. Uh, we're doing a lot of generative AI things at work, and so I feel like it would be good to kind of get up to speed on some of that stuff. My pastime is animating wristwatches in the browser, but couldn't elevate above simple lettering. There's some really cool. Oh, very cool. I mean, that sounds like a very niche, uh, like interest. Animating wristwatches, specifically in the browser, right? It sounds very niche, but I'm sure, that's the wonderful thing about the internet, right? Like, uh, sorry, stop mid sentence there. I got distracted for a sec. An entire watch movement online. Yeah, that's wild. I wouldn't have thought that that was a thing, but everything's a thing on the internet. Let's see. My hobby ain't the internet a beautiful thing, honey? Yeah, man, you're walnuts. You really like the movie quotes. I've seen you drop like 3 or 4 of them in here. Uh, my latest obsession on the internet has been mechanical keyboards. This is actually my favorite one. This is the newest one I bought. It's uh, a Yunsi B75 Pro. I got it on sale. It was like normally a $80 keyboard. I got it for like $40, but yeah, I have more keyboards than I have computers now. That's been my latest kind of, I don't know, fun hobby, distraction hobby. I don't build them or do anything. I always buy them pre-built, but I like the way they sound and they're fun to work with. I think if you spend that much time with any tool, if you're someone who works at a computer, all day, you should enjoy the things you work with, enjoy your tools, so to speak. So that's been my latest thing. Oh goodness. I know at some point what? I wonder if my tripod keeps like if it just turns itself off because it goes to sleep. It's on a stabilizer, which I thought would work great, but there are some crazy builds that can be done with keyboards. I love my MX Black switches, had them for 12 years now. Yeah, some people like the guys that build their own custom ones and mod them, and yeah, that's the about the furthest I've gotten into actually modifying is just switching out keycaps. Uh, okay, let's go into. I got to figure out how to get logged in here now that there's a problem logging in. Oh, there it happened again. Okay. Okay, I've said it 3 times now that I was gonna go get a different tripod, and I haven't done it. So I'm gonna go get a different tripod because this is getting old. I'll be right back. I guess you guys can probably still hear me. Guess that's the benefit of Bluetooth audio. I have too much camera equipment. Too much camera equipment. And it's spread all over the house. I'm sure my wife gets frustrated because everywhere she goes, there's a piece of camera equipment. Okay, here we go. We're fixing this problem once and for all. I'm probably only gonna stream for a little while longer anyways, but you'd be interested in learning DevOps, but never worked in actual developer team or any yeah. Is there a way to learn without prior knowledge or experience, maybe from courses or something? Yeah, I don't have a ton of experience doing DevOpsy related things. Obviously, I like to go to conferences. I like to learn, but professionally, I've never done anything DevOpsy related. Uh, I definitely think it's possible to get into DevOps without any formal training. I think that's possible in any aspect of tech. Honestly, um, it's just about how much time and effort you're willing to put in, right, to learn, because there is a lot to learn. But it's all out there. I mean, that's the thing. It's like all the information and most of it. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. There's very few people in any field who can just at the drop of a hat tell you exactly how to do something or how exactly something works without first having to reference or look up or search for answers. And so I feel like what's really important if you want to get into a field like that is just a willingness to learn and sorry, a willingness to solve problems, right? To really dig in and be that person that is gonna stick with a problem and figure it out. And obviously, having knowledge of the technologies and how they work and all that's gonna help you. Uh, but yeah, if you have that problem solver mentality, that mindset, most definitely that's something you can get into. I don't have any courses or anything I can point you to. I'd probably search for like DevOps. I mean, I think probably it's not really DevOps you want to search for. It's more like individual skills, right? Like Linux administration or Bash scripting, AWS, right? And I know there's a lot of free cloud provider certifications, things like that. That's probably what you do. And it's Anime Bahali. Hey there, good to see you in the chat. I think it's the first time that you've showed up in the chat, but it's good to see you. Good to hear from you. It's fun to have people to interact with while I'm doing stuff like this. Because sometimes it's just me in a room talking to myself, which is it's odd. It's odd, but I mean, if you want to I mean, one of the things, so there's two reasons why I live stream. One is live streaming is a really easy and nice way to make content, right? Because you can let the camera roll, record yourself doing stuff, and then you can chop it up and turn it into shorter form content. So it's a very it's a high ROI use of time in terms of content creation. Uh, but then the other reason is just it's nice to chat with people. But sometimes people don't show up to chat. What's going on here? Hey, Pure Lore. What's going on here is I'm really just drinking coffee and talking to you guys. So if you have something you want to chat about, uh, yeah, let's chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of work and look at the chat and talk to you guys and drink some espresso and maybe make more espresso and just hanging out. I thought, hey, I have an hour here of uninterrupted time. I can kill two birds with one stone. Talk to you guys and get some work done and get caffeinated for the day. Specifically, I guess if you're curious what I'm doing specifically, I am testing software. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing it off screen, obviously, because it's work related. So I can't can't be sharing the goods. But that's what I'm doing. And right now, I'm trying to figure out how to get logged in despite this bug. Well, I guess it's not really a bug. It's just I think it's a configuration issue. I think I'm almost there though. If I could figure out how to, let's see. I want to go intra. I want to go here. I want to go to alpha. One thing about so one thing about testing software is you end up with really messy workspaces because you just have tons of like test data and everything strewn everywhere. I probably just need to be better at organizing my stuff. Okay. So I need that piece of information. I'll probably stream 20 more minutes or so. So if the software fails a test, is there like a big red alert or something? Does it tell the developer what and why it's not working right about it exactly? Depends. Depends, Walnut. Dante, Gloomin, SpaghettiOs, nice. Nice. You like SpaghettiOs? I'm not a big SpaghettiOs guy. I'm not as anything canned food related, I don't really fuck with. So if the software fails, so Walnut about the software failing a test. Um, it depends. So if it's an automated test, there's usually a pretty clear indication of what failed. But depending on how the software failed, there's Likely, usually some sort of error or stack trace that the developer can use to figure out where in the code things went wrong. However, one of the tricky parts is basically just getting your software or your application into a state where you can replicate that particular behavior. That's usually the work that the developer always has to do regardless, right? They have to reproduce it locally so that they can understand how to do that. And so the way I try to assist with that is I just try to always give very clear, simple reproduction steps that get them, do X, do Y, do Z to get them into that state where the error occurs. That saves them a lot of time. But no big red alerts. No big red alerts. Not like pushing not like I would imagine it is when you push the big red button to launch the nuclear weapons. I don't know why a big red button made me think of nuclear weapons, but I would imagine that's really the only place where there is a big red button. I could be wrong. All right, I feel the caffeine working. I feel the focus sharpening. What are y'all talking about? Nothing specific. I'm just kind of hanging out, working and drinking coffee. And I threw up the live stream so that I thought we could chat a little bit. So if you got something you want to talk about, we kind of been talking about just software, like what my job entails and what software testing looks like. Mini Jim. These people that jump into the chat and just spam random weird comments, I'll never understand what possesses people to do that. I mean, I'm streaming, but I like to watch other people stream, like, Tim the Tatman's one of my favorite gaming streamers. The Primogen is one of my favorite coding streamers. But, like, as an audience member, I never just, like, show up in someone's stream and start saying, like, "I love big women." Like, I don't know, it's just so random and strange. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm the strange one. It's like that star in the Mario movie where the star's like, "In an insane world, the sane are called insane." So maybe that's me, you know? Trump Trump had a red Diet Coke button reinstalled on his desk. Nice, Walnut. That's hilarious. Hey, Jennifer. Have I tried Berea sausages? I just found out they were a thing. I have not tried Berea sausages, but I think I have tried. Is it Berea tacos? Is that what I've tried? Yeah. Yeah, I've had tacos, but I've not had sausages, which I mean, I loved the tacos, so. And here's Mini Jim again. Do you think someday we could meet and make Hamburger Helper together? No, Mini Jim, I will not be eating Hamburger Helper with you, nor making it. But if you would like to make Hamburger Helper, that's fine. I grew up eating Hamburger Helper like once a week. That was a meal once a week. We were talking about Jennifer. You kind of look like my high school English teacher. Nice. Somebody told me, somebody told me earlier I kind of look like a cop or somebody who's in the military. And then last night when I was live streaming, someone said you look like Harry Potter but on steroids. uh, which I've never gotten that before. I guess the question is, Jennifer, was your high school English teacher a nice dude? Because if he was, then that's cool with me. Now, if he wasn't a very nice teacher, then yeah, I don't want to look like him. Always found the name odd. What exactly is Hamburger Helper, and why is it? I who knows? I guess the idea is right. If you're, if you grew up in a family like I did, middle or lower middle class, and you know you got to make your money stretch for your groceries. There's nothing cheaper from a protein perspective than just going to the store and buying, 80/20 ground beef, right? A pound of ground beef and uh throwing it into the pan, which isn't great by itself, right? So that, I guess, the brand was, hey, you can grab that pound of hamburger and we'll help you make it better, I guess. Whoever came up with the marketing around it though, it's just such a well-known brand. They did a great job marketing it. Just a clear shave and neat haircut. It's like a regular. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? It's a I if you go back like a week ago or a week and a half on my channel, my hair was super. I hadn't got a haircut. I only get a haircut like once a quarter. So my hair was super, super long. He was a nice dude. He joked around with us and everything, but he definitely had favorites, and that was kind of sad. Yeah, teachers are like that, aren't they? But that just that just is an acknowledgement of the humanity, right? At the end of the day, teachers, doctors, lawyers, police officers, doesn't matter what profession they're in, they're human, right? And so humans tend to do things. We tend to be very tribal. We tend to gravitate towards people we like. We tend to gravitate away from people we don't like, and that permeates like everything we do. Um, and unfortunately, that happens in schools too, right? Happens with teachers, happens with administrators. It's just it's a human problem, which is kind of funny because uh, we do everything in our power, right, to try to get away from that stuff, and it's just we're just never going to get away from it. Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. I've got about another 15 minutes in me, streaming wise, and then I think I'm gonna wrap it up. We need some music, don't we? That's the one thing about streaming on the phone is I don't know how you incorporate other things into the stream, because it would be nice to have some music. In data analytics, is data analytics a hard field to get into? I lost my service desk job, and now the market is super dried up in my country with L1, L2 IT jobs. Oh man, yeah, I'm not. You probably know more about the IT technology job market, having worked um, in a service desk role, than even I do. Um, so I'm not really sure. From what I understand, in general, the job market's tough in technology right now, especially for entry level positions. It seems like senior positions, which is just, that's probably no matter what industry or what period of time, if you're a senior person in your field and you have a depth of wisdom and experience, you're probably not going to have a hard time getting a gig. Seems like those entry level positions are the tough ones to grab nowadays. Data analytics, though, I'm not sure. If I was to guess, it's probably kind of difficult to get into, um, based on the companies I've worked in. Very few have had dedicated data analytics positions, so I'm guessing those positions there aren't a large number of them. And it seems like more and more nowadays companies are investing in tools that democratize data analytics through some piece of software. So the need to have kind of a dedicated person that does SQL queries or runs statistics or does those types of analysis uh, are less and less because there's tools that will just do it for you. Um, doesn't mean that's bad field to get into. Just that's just my observation personally. Service desk was running around firing every kind of stuff, helping clients. I loved it, but made a bad decision. Yeah, man, switching companies is difficult. You know, moving jobs is tough. It's a crapshoot, honestly, right? You're giving up what you know for hopefully something that's better, but you don't really know what that other place is going to be like or how the people are. I had a not a bad experience, but I did have a crazy job changing experience like that where I left basically I was at a manufacturing plant doing research and development as a food scientist, and I basically left to go be a project manager for one of our vendors, doing like millwright work. If you're familiar with that, millwright's like industrial construction, essentially skilled, high skilled work, but typically in some sort of industrial setting. And I was there for about 3 months, and I loved the company. I loved the people that owned the company. I knew them real well, had personal relationships with them. It was a smaller organization, uh, and I think they had all the best of intentions for how my role at that company was gonna play out, and it just didn't work. And I was stressed and had lots of anxiety, and after 3 months, I just decided, I really enjoyed the opportunity, I really appreciate it, but it just this wasn't the right fit, and I went back to my old boss. I sent an email to my old boss, and I said, I the new place isn't working out, so I'm starting the process of looking for a new job, and so I wanted to reach out and let you know that I would be interested in coming back and just taking over where picking up where I left off. Essentially, it only been 3 months, so uh, and lucky for me, he was receptive, and I will forever be appreciative to him, um, for making that happen for me because I had a young family at the time, and I wasn't sure what other job I was going to get. I have kind of a smorgasbord of a background and experience, and being able to just to kind of go back home essentially and him welcome me and not be upset or angry about the fact that I chose to left in the first place. And I went back and worked there for another year or two before I switched to the company I'm at now. And I should probably send him an email, or I should probably pick up the phone and call him and just I know I've told him thank you, but I still think back on that time in my life, and I yeah, I more often I should call him up when I think about that and say, I just wanted to let you know that meant a lot to me personally. I mean, I enjoyed the work and everything, but personally, like what it meant for me and my family, having made a job change that didn't work out and being able to come back to some place I knew, uh, yeah, that was, yeah, I should I should express more gratitude. Oh, that's awesome, man. Walnuts. I'm glad that if that works out for you too. I mean, I think sometimes we in our minds we think vaccinated anti-vaxxer. Now that's a username. Am I interested in gov work? Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure the angle of the question. I'm not currently looking for a different job. I definitely am looking for opportunities to freelance in the programming software, whether it be software development related or whether it be software testing related, um, but not like full time work. Was it gratitude or was it really love? Nice. Yeah, you've got the quotes going on, Walnuts. Bro, you want a software job? Come to Boston. Hey, Ryan Pareto. Is Boston like happening or happening for software engineering? I hadn't heard that. Just a lot of demand for software gigs, or big in software for sure. Yeah, and I the other thing the other thing I've heard about Boston is they're big. So I got my degree in biochemistry, and so when I was looking for jobs, that was my uncle's in he's in kind of the biotech space, and he had told me that Boston's kind of like a hot spot for biotechnology. But I guess I mean Boston has MIT's in Boston, isn't it? So there's kind of a high tech, high science. Um, is it? No, it's in Cambridge, I guess. Which is Cambridge near Boston? Honestly, I don't know. I've never been to Massachusetts, but uh, MIT runs a lot of programs again. Nice. Yeah. So I would assume, right, like if you have large universities or large technical institutes, right, they're pumping out highly skilled workers. You got to employ them somewhere. Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, so Ryan, are you in software? I'm assuming, or near it, or something like that. Oh, Harvard. Yeah, that's a good point. Harvard too. So yeah, so there's a lot of smarty pants running around in uh in Boston, but they can't find enough people. I guess is what you're saying. Oh, you're in Boston, yeah. So are you in software though, or do you work in tech, or you just hear that there's big demand for software? Oh, CAD, nice, very cool. My brother's brother-in-law, that's what he did as a career was CAD. But he was in I think he worked for a large construction firm. I think is the kind of company he worked for. But you need more CAD engineers. Nice. So forgive me just because I'm ignorant about kind of CAD work and that kind like how that what that work looks like. But is it primarily knowledge about a particular set of tools and ability to use those tools? Like I'm guessing there's kind of like industry standard software sort of thing. And that's kind of the big skill set. Obviously, I guess drafting, right? You need to know the basics of drafting, whether it be done in a computer or not. Blueprint work. I feel like that's a large part of a lot of industries is just knowing the tooling, right? Like when it comes to things like video editing, right? You got to know DaVinci, you got to know Premiere, um, and so I'm guessing there's a similar thing in CAD where you kind of have that. You obviously have to have that foundational knowledge, but then you also need to know the tools that are commonly used. All right, we're coming up on an hour here, standing and working for an hour. I'm thinking it's actually almost lunchtime too. So I'm thinking I'm thinking I'm actually probably gonna close down. More so, the client gets a 3D or 4D imaging to see their future land slash landscape. Oh, okay, that's cool. Very cool. Yeah, I could see a lot of value in that. I mean, I see similar. I'm guessing it's similar stuff. Like if not to, I don't want to seem silly, but like if you're familiar with like Chip and Joanna Gaines, my wife loves them. I love them too. Um, but like on their show, they always show like renderings. So I'm guessing that was all done in some piece of software, and you have to have some blueprints and some drafting knowledge to be able to mock that up and render it. But as a customer, I could totally see that being value add, right? To be able to kind of because people have a hard time visualizing, right? And that's the value that designers, architects, right? People they have like an eye for it. They can walk into a space and see it come to life. But for most people, they can't. So having the ability to show them a picture is pretty nice. Over 6 figures a year? Wow. Wow. That's insane. But that's nice for you to be able to really, I mean, that's really nice for you to be able to, typically only salespeople can usually see that, but you kind of see how your work directly maps to like the work I do directly translates into dollars into the business's pocket, which is great for you. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming and chatting. I think I'm actually gonna wrap up this live stream and I'm gonna take lunch and I think I'm gonna go stream some more, but I'm gonna do it on Twitch and work on some coding and some programming projects. And so yeah, so I appreciate you guys that were here, stuck around, chatted. I appreciate that. It's much easier to stream when you have people that are talking back to you and you're not just talking to yourself. Um, Mujtaba Brook, thanks for the Bible verses. Um, Mark 12, Corinthians 8. See you, Walnuts. See you, man. Yeah, pleased to meet you too, Walnuts. Have a good day. Ryan, have a good day, man. It was nice talking to you. Hope things in Boston stay well for you. All right. All right. I'm out of here, guys. You guys have a good day. I'll see you next time.